Hey there, besties. Thank you for stopping by. Let's take a look at this article that comes from the Wall Street Journal. REDRUMS of Black women rose during the pandemic. So did their unsolved cases. So I'm going to read what they're going to say. And then, of course, I'm going to give my 2 cents because that's what we do around here. Y'all let me know what you think. This is as of January the 22nd, so it's only a few days ago. Victims' families set out to find deleters as authorities grapple with shift in clearance rates. All right. So when homicide surged across America during the pandemic, REDRUMS of Black women and girls rose more dramatically than any other group. At the same time, the proportion of those deletions solved by police fell faster than other demographics in nearly 24 cities. Probably the cities that we look at, same cities that we talk about, same cities where the gremlins are out here gremlinizing, where these people, these dudes, these males are taking out their girlfriends, their wives, their children, all that type stuff. There definitely is a problem. Definitely is a problem. Man can't even be out at 3 a.m. doing whatever he is as a 70-some-odd-year-old man because he's just doing whatever he wants to as a man who's lived that long. A woman can't go ahead and do Uber to help her mother who's already sick without being taken out. Now, I know one is a male, one is a female, but as a whole, the point is that the issue is that Black people out here wilding. I'm going to just say it. Black people are out here wilding like there ain't no tomorrow. We're living under these terrorists and it's old. It's been old. I'm tired. We've been talking about it. I mean, how did we get here? I know it's the white people, white supremacy, racism, discrimination. They don't even have to do anything because we're doing it to ourselves. And you got Ben Crump out here carrying on about Ron DeSantis and his critical race theory, African-American studies thing. When something like this is going on, but he ain't looking into nothing like this. He ain't fighting for stuff like this. Him, Al, Sean, Tamika. Hell, I just asked where the hell is Stacey Abrams? Because her daggone state need help. Atlanta specifically. We talk about Atlanta too. Top on the list of craziness and foolishness. Stuff that's going on that should not be going on. All unnecessary. Mainly Black people doing it. Terrorizing their own. Not that they should be terrorizing anyone, but terrorizing their own. No care in the world. Get caught 15 minutes later. Everything's recorded. They're showing their crime. They're breaking into things. They're taking stuff that don't belong to them. Ruining businesses, then the businesses will leave, and then they'll say white supremacy, discrimination, and racism. Black people crazy, y'all. Black women and girls were deleted in 2021, a 51% increase over 2019, and the largest jump of any racial or gender group during that period, according to the CDC. So this is not some made up stuff. This is straight coming from the CDC and the Washington Journal. Ain't the Shade Room. The Neighborhood Talk, On Site, Hollywood Unlocked. No, real journalism here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take them to, I'll take what they say and go with it. I know there'll be a lot of y'all that be like, you can't trust it. You can't trust it. No, we going to trust it. Because I'm going to trust this more so than I'm going to trust them daggone blogs, which is where Black people tend to want to find their news. Everything that's going on is there. Who cares, that it's just a blog. Nothing really has to be verified or anything like that. They say whatever they want to. They post the worst of everything for the most part. And then we feeding into it. The dysfunction is the problem. It ain't white supremacy at all. Overall, the number of deletions nationwide increased 34% during that time frame. Meanwhile, the number of unsolved homicides of Black women and girls rose by 89% in 2020 and 2021 compared with 2018 and 19, according to a survey of 21 U.S. cities by the Wall Street Journal. I'm going to say part of that reason is because there's less cops. I know that this article didn't say it, but come on now, defund the police. Your wish is my command. Not mine, but that's what they wanted. That's what y'all marched for. That's what you was in the streets about. That's what everyone was carrying on about. So the policemen said, we don't need this. They quit, they moved, they retired, and then there's no one to replace them. And so now the gremlins are gremlinizing, out here taking people out. Then you're like, oh, no one can solve the case. Who gonna do it? I mean, do black people think that they're the only ones and they're the only ones that the police should respond to? What about the rest of the daggone world? Then again, and then it's always white supremacy discrimination, and here come Al Crump. Al and Crump. Always ready to get the emotions riled up or talking about white people. This is something, and I'm not necessarily talking about this article right now, but I'm talking about the police as a whole and why they're not solving anything, even though they're solving pretty well, because the dummies is out here talking about what they did, showing what they did on the internet, flossing what they did, what they got, what they stole, how they got it, where it's at, all that, telling on themselves. But I guess when the real police work needs to be done on things that are a little bit more intricate, they can't do it because there's so much foolishness going on. They ain't got time. And ain't nobody trying to make the parents held responsible for nothing for all these minors. Ain't nobody, criminals are barely being held. Criminal getting out for $1. Criminals getting out, no bail at all. Heinous crimes, no bail. I mean, like, they don't have to stay. That's what I mean. They get right back out. They get arrested, they get right back out. Everything that people do don't mean that they're going to be in jail. Then people going to complain about the discrimination with the people in jail. The rest of the world don't care about the foolishness. They're going to be like, you're going to drive yourselves crazy. You getting what you want and don't even realize that this is a result of getting what it is that you want. It was a far bigger increase than any other demographic group. Another list we shouldn't be at the top of during this period. Data provided by the city show the numbers are confounding to law enforcement, criminologists, and community groups who said they have yet to gain a complete understanding of the disparities. I just told you. They pointed to several possible factors, including the overall rise in homicides of black women and girls, staffing shortages in the police departments, and deepening distrust of police in some black communities following the deletions of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. So in one breath, you don't trust them. In the next breath, you're looking at them and you calling them names and you're giving them a hard time because they're not doing what you want to do. You can't have it both ways. Like I continue to say, there's going to be problems in every daggone aspect of the world. People are going to be racist. There are going to be people that don't like black people. And there's also people that don't like white people and every other person. Now, is there some troubles in the daggone police departments? Absolutely it is. But it's not just white people. We just seen 5 black men get fired for the deletion of some child. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know the name. Where the outrage? Where Ben Crump? Where Al? Where Tamika? Where Sean? Where all them people at? Oh, it's because they black men. It don't matter. But we're not gonna carry on about that. Even though there's a black man that's deceased, it was black policemen, so it's not that important. It's only if they white. Does no one see this? Does no one see this? Let me see. Mourners embraced during the funeral of 16-year-old Tona Luthus, whose body was discovered on the side of the road in LA this past January. I hope that's not the girl we talked about. A disparate group of black women around the U.S. have started tracking deletions and launching websites devoted to the unsolved REDRUMS. Some grieving families have set out to try to solve the REDRUMS themselves, walking the blocks where their mothers, daughters, or sisters died. Ms. Dawkins, 62, hung posters with a picture of her daughter and a phone number for tips. That's great. Good job. I think that's something to applaud. Take some action. Do something. Go ahead and do what needs to be done. Help yourselves. It can't be easy. I'm not saying that at all. But sitting around and complaining about somebody else is not doing what you think that they should be doing is never going to help anyone. So I applaud them for taking care of this. I see plenty of the videos here on YouTube of people who have those sites where it's specifically dedicated to the deletions of black women, young black women. Good for them. Bring attention to it. Grow it. Get it out there. It can't be easy. LaTanya Williams, 50 years old, who ran a child care center out of her home, was SHOT'd multiple times while sitting in her car in Chicago on the afternoon of February 22, 2020. And this is her mother. For days afterwards, her sister and mother blanketed the South Shore neighborhood with posters showing her photo. They offered a $15,000 reward. No one would talk with us. They wouldn't even open the door for us. It was so heartbreaking, said Jamila Hughes, Miss Williams' sister. And if it's that hard for you, do you really think that anyone is talking to the police? I'm not discouraging them, but they're seeing firsthand where people always want to complain about the police and what they're not doing, and it's taking too long, and why come and how come. You see, you're the same kind as whose door you're knocking on, and they ain't trying to help you. So how is it that you think that anyone is going to talk to the police? But the thing is, who touts no snitching? Who touts no snitching? Come on now. So why is it that we can't see that we are doing these things to ourselves? Being emotionally fooled by people such as Ben Crump, Al, Sean, all the regulars, to sit up here and just get emotional and be all riled up about race all the daggone time. Sitting up here, you pushed your agenda, you got it, and now you're mad because police aren't available to help. How? Then you glorify rap. All rap people talk about is no snitch, no snitch. We looking at it in real time with Gunna, Young Thug, and all the rest of them. No snitch, no snitch, no snitch. Then allegedly Gunna snitches. Everybody giving him a hard time, calling him out. That dude with all the colorful hair, can't think of his name. He snitched. He got to be watching out for himself. That has nothing to do with white supremacy. That has to do with black people foolishness. We won't even do what's right for ourselves. So why do we think that anyone else is going to do it for us? They're not. And until we change by raising our children, teaching them the difference between right and wrong, raising them in a nuclear family, bringing them up together and seeing where they are, what they're doing, who they're with, how they doing it, teaching them ourselves, stop depending on this school that everyone says is an indoctrination and don't teach nothing and it ain't right, and try to force them to change. You need to change. You need to change. When is that going to get through? When is someone going to freaking listen, understand, and know? You can't force no one else to do anything. All you can control is yourself. You sending your kids out here and they getting a .013 grade point average and you blaming the school? I'm not saying they absolved, but sis, that's on you. You're not even involved with your own child's life. And then going to say, I got to work. Why is it that all this is about you got to work? We do it to ourselves. I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over and over again. I'm going to keep saying it. The police don't come. Well, defund the police. We don't trust the police. Oh, we called the police. They didn't come. Well, what? What? So because of the pro-blacks and Black Lives Matter glorifying all these daggone cases and saying this is how it should have been done. This is how it should have been done. They did this wrong. They did that wrong. Most of those cases, if you watch, the police officer, can't think of his name right now, black guy on YouTube, he will tell you the truth. But common sense should tell you the truth. Just because you don't want to do what the police say don't mean that you shouldn't do what the police say. Let's do what we need to do so we can get out of poverty. How about that? Let's go ahead and get with a decent man instead of going with Pookie, Ray Ray, Nug Nug, and all them, and then wonder why you can't get nowhere now that you got 10 kids all by yourself. But you want to blame a lot of all black men for that. Let's look at something more than just he got pretty hair and bow legs in order to determine whether you're going to have a kid for someone that you're not married to. Yeah. But that's the other thing, too. Have somebody talk about, well, you should be married. You should get with a man. You should build something. And then that's crazy talk. But you being out here being a single mother and then somebody's supposed to be feeling sorry for you because you F5 men and you got 17 babies. And now we supposed to feel sorry for that. That's more if we do it to ourselves. And while that's a little bit off the topic of what we're talking about right here, this is how we're getting here where we are right now. Because who's protecting black people? Who? We ain't protecting each other? There ain't no police? Who? But this is what we asked for. Not we, but this is what y'all asked for. No police, no bail. So everybody out doing whatever, out here SHOTing like it ain't no tomorrow. And this is during the pandemic, since everybody been let out the gates, I guess. Taking ATM machines, deleting people just because they looked at them wrong. We're going to ignore all that stuff. No one thinks that has a place for any of this. I think it does. After a friend warned it was dangerous for them to be out asking questions, the woman stopped. Of course it is. Especially if there's any GANGs involved. They now take turns each week calling the homicide detective handling the case. So keep bombarding him. You know, we looked at Baltimore. We looked at a couple. Look, we be learning over here, y'all. We looked at a couple of cities where they're saying there's not enough detectives to cover all the crime. Shout out to defund the police. If there's one daggone officer, there's 300 assigned to him on the homicides. How much attention do you think they're getting? How much attention do you think your case is going to be getting? Chicago police declined to comment, citing the continuing investigation. Of course they're not going to. Chicago's been the worst since ever. Chicago has been the worst ever since I even knew the name Chicago. The department said it was trying to bolster its unit of approximately 180 homicide detectives so that each officer has fewer cases to solve. What'd I just say? Again, this is not rocket science. Among the unsolved REDRUMS from 2020 was that of Brittany Hardwick, a 22-year-old nail stylist, a mother of a 3-year-old named Justice. She was found in the early morning of December 12, 2020, fatally SHOT'd in the neck in her black Ford Focus that was parked in her boyfriend's parents' driveway. This is the mother with her urn there. We ain't even get into the DV of it all. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm pretty sure that that's enough of plenty of things. Sandra Dawkins, Ms. Hardwick's mother, was certain Cleveland's homicide detectives would solve that case quickly. Her daughter was with acquaintances before driving to pick up her boyfriend at a party. Police said a person of interest has been identified in the case, but there isn't enough evidence to make an arrest. Ms. Dawkins, 62, scoured the Cleveland neighborhood where her daughter was REDRUM, talking to people who live or own businesses there. She hung posters with a picture of her daughter that read, "Who deleted me?" and a phone number for tips. Wondering if she missed anything, Ms. Dawkins recently went to the police impound lot. Among rows of vehicles with shattered windows and rusting bullet holes, she found her daughter's car. She got to do all this, y'all. She opened the passenger door and sat inside, rubbing the gray upholstery on the driver's seat, still stained with her daughter's blood. Oof. How can you just go on life knowing someone deleted your child and you don't know who did it? Ms. Dawkins says, I gotta know. Well, I wish her luck, because this is ridiculous and crazy. I will listen to what the Wall Street Journal has to say over any of those daggone blogs. And this story, I believe it completely. We see these stories all the time. I will just say there are some extenuating circumstances that has also been part of the reason for this. And that's the crazy part that Black people don't want to realize. We do these things to ourselves. I'm not saying any of those people deserve to be deleted. I'm not saying that at all. Rest in peace to all of these women. But if we're out here fighting for what exactly? You want to get rid of the police because you're all riled up emotionally because of these pro-Blacks. Who gonna protect you? Out here having babies by any old nug. Ain't got nothing to offer. No pot to piss in, no window to throw it out of. I mean, come on, let's be real about it. Then you got the no snitching. Ain't nobody gonna talk. Don't nobody care. It ain't got nothing to do with them. But when it got something to do with them, then somebody got to talk. I mean, I'm pretty sure with this woman on the screen, she's trying to insinuate that the boyfriend had something to do with it. And odds are he probably did allegedly. Good luck in finding out whatever happened to her daughter. This is crazy. But as long as we continue in this stupid, roundabout, dumb way of thinking and not like really thinking for ourselves, I honestly don't see how or when it is ever going to end. We need to take a step back and understand and realize that what we're doing is not working. We're here because this is what we wanted. Not we, but I'm just saying as a collective, this is what people fought for. This is what they got. Now they don't like it. Who didn't see this coming? That's it. That's all. If you made it this far, I do appreciate you. Please consider subscribing. I will see you all in the next one.